back with you. The Three Musketeers, perhaps. The Three Stooges, perhaps.
Two Musketeers.
All for one and one
Same
for
jacket.
all. Licia Troughton, Canadian. Raymond McCabe, Newry man, formerly Belfast. Well, in your ancestry. Yeah. You, in your current life, were formerly left Belfast at 3 for Canada, you see.
And I understand your family left in the late 1800s.
1800s. Well, they had a business in Belfast in 1870, and we assumed they came here around the 1900s and set up
Been here
shop.
ever since.
Been here ever
And
since.
you had a certain word for someone who lives in Newry 3 generations back. You were telling me it's not going to apply to me as a blower.
I'm the Newry Yuck.
And you're in Yuck.
That's a bit like a Canuck. In Vancouver, you're a Canuck.
A Canuck, it's the same kind of thing.
Newry Yuck.
And if you're
Take note, Canadians.
and if you want to be sure that no one's pulling wool over your eyes, what do you think I did? Do you think I came up the canal on a bubble?
A bubble?
Or in a bubble?
In a bubble.
No, in a kirk.
In a kirk. What's a kirk? A curragh. A kirk. A kirk is a thing you kneel down inside and pray within. Now, you won't know this, dear Canadian lady, because this is a cultural icon. Oh, we're changing your microphone, are we?
That's okay.
That's all good. Thank you.
His chair is silent. He's got a chair.
My apologies for this, dear folk. Normally we have this all checked before we go live on air, and these things happen in the best regulated circles.
I think Sean just wants to show off his jeans.
For now, for goodness sake. We're fine. Yeah, we're spot on. Well done.
It's the jackets.
Thank you, Sean. Well done. Well done. Well done. And jeans.
Okay,
now,
it's not a fashion show. It's an antique.
Yeah, this is a piece. This is a reproduction, is it not?
It is.
And tell me about this here. Then, now, if this was an antique, do you have antiques in Canada? But I mean, that's a fair enough question. Are you long enough in existence to have antiques?
Oh, is that the question?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to go there. I'm going to. How's that?
You've turned it. That's no good. Needs to go the other way. Raymond,
but
turn
I
it
think
around.
we need to see all of it.
Oh yeah, but the people need to see it as well. I'm just halfway. 45 degree. That's nice.
How's the back of that? Oh, it doesn't
Fine.
have so much ornamentation.
No.
I thought it did.
This is
gonna
not
hug
an
it.
antique. Do hug it. Hug
This
the reproduction.
would be class. We would call it a Chippendale style chair. Thomas Chippendale. If this was original Chippendale,
yeah,
you're a couple of £1 million.
Couple of £1 million. And would Thomas Chippendale...
And then you'd really hug it and you'd lock that door.
Would Thomas Chippendale have built a joint in there or not?
I think he
Don't
would
like
have,
that
of course,
joint.
he would have to.
He would have
because
to.
it's pinned here.
But it's very well disguised in his work. Yeah.
Of course, this isn't polished yet. It's only to show you a non-finished chair.
Yeah.
The trends would have been to make this a walnut or a mahogany colour.
Yeah.
The trends today now is to paint it.
You're
And
gonna
loud,
paint
brash colours with about 4 or 5 different coats.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when you say a loud brash color, what color? Like the color of the inside of your jacket?
No.
More
No.
this, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, it is,
Possibly.
yeah. Well,
Depends on the day.
Our
Really?
tailor is very good.
So not just white or black or cream.
Are you tempted to go down the French polishing avenue with this?
Of course you are. Of course you are. That's the nicest way to do it. But at the minute, the trends are towards painting more so.
And at McCabe's out in the Belfast Road, are you completing this chair?
Is it called the Belfast Road?
It is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
We would be improving it
Yeah.
by bigger glue blocks because people have the tendency
Can you see that?
to rock.
Yes, to rock on the chair back. Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you get two-wheelers and sometimes you get one-wheelers.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And this actually happens.
Called a one-wheeler. If you do that at a dinner party, you're a
Well,
one-wheeler.
I did that once. I was so tired. You know, this is what happened. You keep ready there for this.
Yeah.
And the one-wheeler was going. Just take your hand off it there for a moment. The one-wheeler was going, and he was going back in his one-wheel. He was just at the cusp, just balanced. And I was sitting close. I was so fed up with it throughout the dinner, throughout the starter, throughout the main course, and it just went like that.
And
he went, and they got rid of him, and it was wonderful.
You were competing in the dinner conversation, were you?
I tell you, now.
Now,
What about the legs? Are they Queen Anne legs or what?
No, Chippendale.
Chippendale legs still.
Again, carved from a block from here down.
Wow.
This is a piece added on. So you make furniture. Furniture is not made from the main trunk of the tree. It's made from branches.
Why?
Because it's all component parts. You
Yes.
don't need big waves of timber.
Yes.
Sometimes the green people look at the furniture industry and say, "Oh, it's solid mahogany. You're wasting it."
Yeah.
I think furniture-wise, it's used 3% used on
Yeah.
furniture. Of
3%.
world wood.
That's fantastic. You have a claw at the bottom there, the bottom of the chair.
Yes.
Let's look at them.
This is known as the ball and claw.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And this is a bird claw, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. English design, and then the Americans took it on. There's a Philadelphian ball and claw as well.
The
Oh,
eagle
yeah.
is so famous, isn't
Yeah.
it? And that symbolizes power, I suppose.
Possibly. Yeah.
The imperialism.
Oh yeah. If you're the ball in that claw, you know what power is. I tell you, all the way.
And you came along with a certain bottle, I hear.
Well, the bottle. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I was telling you that
Famous
story
mixture.
as well. It's a mixture. People still come in and ask for my father's mixture.
Ah.
It's linseed oil and methylated spirits and vinegars used.
Not something to drink.
Definitely
No.
not.
Not unless you were in dire straits and desperately.
It's a reviving polish, you would have called
Yeah.
it. You mix it, and it's for cleaning grime and dirt of old furniture to enhance it. Instead of people think you have to strip it and repolish old furniture, you don't.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
our
So why
listeners
take
should
off
know
good
that.
stuff?
Exactly.
You know, leave the stuff that's
Exactly.
good. Same when I was rubbing down my boat, my mahogany boat on oak frames.
Yeah.
When I was doing that, we never took it back to the wood.
course not.
You kept the good and
Yeah.
only took away the bad.
Yeah.
But
And then a boat, of course, you have to keep waterproof too.
oh yeah. It's an interesting construction enough on a boat. It's strip planking where the plank is there and slightly convex there, and the next plank slightly concave here, and the two fit together, and a dowel is put down through the two, keeping it safe. Now I find that you mentioned your father there, and I think of your father's father, Johnny McCabe,
Johnny, yeah.
who was he came to Newry on the train with all the beginnings of the business.
From Belfast?
Yeah, from Belfast. Down the steam train came into Newry, the wicker baskets full of the stuff, and the pony and trap then in Newry to take it wherever it had to be taken, left covered with canvas in the market while they went back to Belfast. No one stole it, believe it or not. And you know, in Johnny, your grandfather's funeral, what age were you when he died?
22.
22. We stopped that morning
did, yep.
outside the furniture yard in Mary Street, the Mary Street in which I grew up. And we just stopped, maybe for a minute, and then we
correct.
walked off
Yep.
again to take him to his... It's very hard to believe that a man of that kind of entrepreneurial skill and that kind of furniture appreciation skill is gone. You know,
He died in 82.
and as surely as we're sitting here, in 90 years' time, you and I will be gone as well.
True. And they might have a nice story about us, Rowan.
Hopefully.
Do you think your grandchildren will go into this business? Assuming you have
It's a
grandchildren.
good question, isn't it?
No, I have one grandchild at the
Right.
minute. Well, we hope.
It's up to you, the pressure's on him or her.
Her.
Oh, it's lovely.
Alice. Yeah, we'd hope.
Okay,
times have
Alice.
changed. Times have changed. Business has changed. The format for business in the 40s, 50s is different till today.
Absolutely, it's hard to stay
So-
in business. And you stayed in business throughout the Troubles, I understand.
Yeah. When you know better, just get on with it.
The trouble is, I can't help... Mary Street was our little enclave in Newry.
Yeah.
It was almost so insignificant in terms of its presence on the landscape of Northern Ireland. The Troubles kind of floated by us in Mary Street, or did they?
There was a
were
lot of
lucky.
families. There was a lot of families, if you remember, Ron, were brought up in Mary Street, lived in Mary Street. So people looked out for each other, I
They
think.
did. They did.
And I think inner towns have lost that a bit, where there's nobody living in inner towns. A lot of good neighbours in Mary Street.
Absolutely. I bumped into Eileen Keane of Mary Street in Warren Point yesterday.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, she said, Rowan, Mrs. Keane lived over there. Matt
Hello,
Keane,
Mrs.
Eileen Keane, Michael Keane,
Yeah.
Eileen Keane, over there. We were here, where I grew up, and my father's family were over here. And you were in between
We
the
were
two.
there
You
too,
were in the
yeah.
middle. And it struck me that the Mary Street of those days, as you say, good people. But Eileen said to me yesterday, Rowan, she said, Mary Street, have you seen it recently? It's terrible. She said, I looked through the window of my mummy's house that she used to shine the brasses on the doors, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
And I looked in, and there was a man lying on the floor surrounded. Mary McGuigan's house, a man lying on the floor in the front room drunk, and covered in bottles. So Mary Street was an opportunity for us to create a little social housing condominium along the whole street, but we didn't do it. We lost the opportunity, you know.
Unfortunately, it has changed. And there was a lot of businesses in Mary Street as well.
Yeah.
There's O'Reilly's, there's Rochelle's, Dennis Kelly at the bottom of the street, Teresa's Flowers.
Yes, yes.
Little sweet shops, all gone.
All gone, never
All
again.
gone. No, all changed.
All good. Now, let's get back to this chair. If I have and I don't money to invest, should I be looking at genuine antiques, or should I be going for fine quality reproductions?
Both. Try and get the original if you can. It won't always suit you because you can't pick your colour, style. There's more of a choice in the reproduction than there is in the antique. But don't forget, antiques were once new.
They were. As I said to a beautiful woman once of a certain age, who was worrying about growing older, I said, dear lady, be aware that older ladies are merely antique girls.
Very nice.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry about
Very
that.
nice.
Let me get rid of this. That's possibly the Prime Minister. He said he would ring me. And hello, David. No, I'm live on air. We can't take you in this morning's programme. Things are moving on Scotland, yes? Ah, okay, David. Listen, good luck in what you're trying to achieve. We wish you well. I'll ring you after the programme. Are you at Downing Street this morning? Okay, that's fine. I'm terribly sorry about that. He always does this thing.
It's very interesting. Just adds a little
Well, I know, but I mean, what can I do?
curiosity to the viewers on YouTube. Is this actually on YouTube, or does
yes,
it just
it is,
get
of course.
put on the website? I'm getting a sort of no from Sean over there.
Yeah. Well, we never
But
do.
people might pinch it and put it on YouTube.
Everything is yes here,
Yeah.
always. We are the art of the possible, constantly so. You're becoming very technical in talking about these things. So if I come to you and I like this chair,
Yes.
and I say to you, okay, I would like it in pillar box red, you can deliver.
Yes.
And it's all done out in the Belfast Road.
It is, yeah.
And you would have an upholsterer, obviously.
Oh, yeah. There's normally a seat, it's called a pop-out seat. The seat would go into the chair, but now we would be doing this chair and doing an overstuffed seat, so we're taking the upholstery right over the frame of the
Wow.
chair.
People find that more comfortable.
It's more impressive looking as
Yeah.
well.
And you'll put button tacks, brass button
It's a
tacks.
show chair.
Yeah.
Like
And
really,
then
it's a show chair.
I'm
yeah.
going to be sort of the woman who maintains the house. How would you clean that upholstery then if someone slipped with their wine or something like that? Would you have to?
Oh, we
would you
never
have
slip
to-
with wine around here. No.
Oh, I
But would
tell
you have
ya.
to take it off and then put it on again, or just?
Depending on the cover.
Yeah.
If you buy a good enough fabric, it can be cleaned.
Yeah.
It's easy
And
enough
that
cleaned.
non-stained fabric that's all.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
And Raymond, in your world of furniture, what's hot at the moment?
What's hot at the moment?
And what's not hot?
Yeah. It's one of the sort of catchphrases
Oh,
we
that's
have
a
on
hard
Destination.
one. That is
Mary.
a hard one. What's hot? Everything. Like we do table and chairs, sofas, beds, wardrobes, bedroom suites, occasional furniture, bathroom furniture,
What about
Bathroom furniture.
bathroom furniture.
What's in it? You have a bath,
for
you have a
instance,
WC, you have
Yeah,
a
people are buying like a cabinet
cabinet.
with a glass cabinet
For the bathroom.
holding their bits and bobs and towels and soaps and whatever.
Carbolic soap is the job.
Carbolic soap.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Do you remember the
Lifebuoy.
time you got me to tie my car together? You got me a ball of
Oh,
size
that was a
twin.
present from you. Yeah.
That's
was
right.
that
you-
on Mary Street as well?
No, that was,
was
quite
recently.
recent. Ron had a problem with the
My car was falling
trunk,
apart.
you would call it, is it? The
Oh,
boot?
yeah, the car, the boot.
The boot of the car.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't
trunk.
close. So I had a piece of baling twine. You know what baling twine
Yes, I do.
is? For the sheep, the legs of the sheep
I
to stop
see.
the
Don't mention sheep to this
Oh, sorry.
woman.
Yeah,
She's
I have
words.
an Australianism.
Yeah.
Right.
The backs of sheep.
So I presented him with some baling twine.
It was very useful. It was very, very good.
I would
So,
expect a man on Destination Uri to be driving a sports car.
down to the post office to pick up my pension. That's where I am. I tell you, you're dealing here with a very old guy, and you got to appreciate
Only
this
wise
thing.
at heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing to do with that.
Raymond, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about pianos? You've got those.
Pianos are
How
very
many
popular.
pianos have you got there?
We have
That is a
about
good point.
40 pianos.
Are they
very
breeding?
popular at the moment because schools are just back. People are coming out now to look for beginners pianos
How
or
much is a beginner piano?
4, 5, 6, 700 pounds.
You know
we're
what
gonna
they're
say
doing
it's
in
possible.
Canada and Sydney, Australia with pianos? They've become so out of fashion, and people aren't sending their kids to piano lessons, that they're putting pianos in the streets, on ferries, in public places, letting the rain fall down on them, just so people can stop and play the piano and remind us that live music actually once was something that people did.
Yeah, well, they're back popular at the minute. Kids, it's
Yeah,
great for
good to
kids
hear.
taking them
Also,
on.
people don't have the space for pianos, do they?
Ah, they do. They do. We have big houses here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second
They're real
only to
houses.
Texas.
With so people will have their big screen television and their piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
great
That's it.
item, you know.
That's it.
That's all we need.
And the church hymns are important, you know.
Church hymns, yeah. And the local menu for the carry-out food.
Oh, yeah. The church hymns are great. Do you remember the hymn book in the cathedral in Newry? Long, thin, green book. And there was one in particular. Saint Joseph dear, when life is dark, when waves of sin and sorrow rise, guide thou our frail and trembling bark, safe to the port beyond the skies.
Well done, Ewan.
He's getting
Beautiful singing voice.
Haven't I?
Aye.
It's a Steinberg of a voice, without it. A Steinberg is the piano make, isn't it?
Steinberg.
It's most certainly not a Toyota voice. No. Listen to me. We
Next
remember
you'll be
all these
dragging
things
in the
well.
piano.
Yeah, we want a piano in here.
I understand.
I'll bring Michael to play it, my grandson.
Very good.
That's what we'll do.
I understand you were to do a spot down at the shop.
Well, that's going to happen. We're planning that. Sometimes we need to plan things.
Slowly.
because Ours is the art of the possible, always.
And that was the introduction to the God spot.
Yeah, that's coming. That's 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
10 o'clock.
Not
10
for a
o'clock.
while.
She gets carried away. Well, we'll see you next week.
We will, yeah.
We might
All
do
being
pianos
well.
next week.
We could
I'll
do.
get Michael into play. We'll make it
could do.
happen. Thank you.
Thank
Sean's
you.
going to play some music now.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care.
Wonderful to
Cheers.
see you and
Thank
your
you.
material culture.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Cheers.
Music maestro, please.